Hello everyone and welcome back to our Chia project. Has been a long time since we've done our last video and unfortunately not much has been going on in the Chia cryptoverse over the last few weeks. We've done our last video in August, I think, and it was more about the value of Bitcoin and the speculative bubble than it was about Chia, because there was not much going on with the Chia project, and this unfortunately has not changed very much over the weeks in between. But still, we think it's time to make another video to keep up with the Joneses and to have a look at what is going on. And anyway, the weather is bad. We have rain for the last few days and it's not worth going out, so it's time for making a little video. So what will the topics be today? So the topics will be a review from a Netspace provider who researched into farming or not farming Chia. So basically it's a data center analyzing the pros and cons of Chia farming, and unsurprisingly they came to the same conclusions as I did in my early research. When you go back to the earlier videos about Chia, and it basically came down to the question how much space of our unused hard disk can we commit to Chia farming, and will it be worth it, given the cost to income ratio. And as I did in my simulation, they came to the same conclusion that it is not worth it, or from the point of financial viability. So that is that. And then is the next question is, why is the actual net space shrinking at the moment? What does it mean for the Chia project? And then we will have a look at what might trigger a comeback, or is it already too late for a comeback? So before we go into the nitty-gritties, let's have a look at where we are. So the net space is down to 31.7 exabyte at the moment, which is 4 to 5 exabyte less than the peak in August was. Difficulty has fallen from roughly 3000 back to 2400. So that would look promising for the Chia farmers, were it not for the other question or the other point, where is the price of Chia? So as of today, Monday the 1st of November, 12, so it's high noon, and the price is $143 per Chia, which is the exchange price. So that is not the value which you will receive when you have converted your Chia into dollars in your bank account. So that is roughly 20% you will lose out converting your Chia into US dollar or British pound. So that will make it roughly $110 per Chia, which will end up in your actual bank account. And that is not very much. If you have a look at how what your actual chances of winning a Chia are and how long you have to farm until you receive a Chia, then you, depending on the size of your farm, you're looking at electricity costs, which are now nearly the same as the income you will receive from winning a Chia. If you farm on a on a if you are not a single farmer, but if you're farming on a project, then you are even worse off because you also have to pay the fees for farming, and that will be even less. I mean, it's another 5 to 10%, just depending on which kind of farm you have connected with. The upside is that you are now able to farm different Chia tokens, which can make it a little bit more interesting. But the bottom line is that at the moment, especially here in Europe, energy costs for farming, I'm not talking about plotting, hardware depreciation and all that stuff that comes on top of it. But at the moment, the pure energy costs in Europe make Chia farming only viable if you do it on very, very low energy consuming devices. And that is obviously a problem because if you have very low energy consuming devices, then you're running into the problem of response times, because the more inefficient your hardware is, the higher your response times become. So at the moment, Chia is actually between a rock and hard place, and that is one of the reasons why the net space is shrinking at the moment. And in my opinion, the price of Chia will decline further because farming was the only risk in, in yeah, I quote, risk-free way of obtaining Chia, because investing in Chia means spending cash to buy Chia is out of the questions because of the immense amount of pre-mined coins, which will always well, which always represent a danger into the value of the coin, because you will never know what the decisions will be to dilute the coin value. So if they decide to throw 150 million Chia coins on the market, then you will know when it happened and not beforehand. So that is a reason why probably nobody in his right mind will spend $10 million in buying Chia coins, because those $10 million could be worth 100,000 within the blink of an eye. So what happens at the moment? We see a decline in value, we see rising energy prices, and we hear not very much from the Chia developers. And that is the perfect storm for a project which depends on community spirit and on sacrifices people make to keep the project alive. And those sacrifices keep piling on, and that is obviously a reason why the Netspace is declining. So this is the analysis in question. Has been undertaken by Backblaze, a storage provider, cloud storage provider, and they have undertaken a review of if it's worth farming Chia. Should Backblaze farm, was the original question. And you can read it. It is Blackblaze.com blog. Chia analyzes to farm or not to farm. And the conclusion is obviously they decided not to. For now, we will remain a buffer. Farming Chia didn't make sense for us, but we love watching people experiment with storage. Of course, they are a storage provider. So they encourage you to store your own Chia plots on their farm, on their on their hard disks, but they are not doing the same for obviously financial reasons. So that is probably the biggest backslash Chia has had in the last few months for the development of their Netspace, because I don't think this is the only storage provider who had a look into Chia farming and storing and plotting, and I think it is it was no. I did some research before, and if you watched our previous videos, you know what my opinion was, and that was when the price for the Chia was at 300, and then declined to 260. Now we're at 140. We had a low of $132 yesterday, no, 48 hours ago. The volume is consistently below the 40 million. And when you look at what that means, that is very low because we have 9,200 coins produced every day, and that alone represents a value of 1.3 million. So basically what we have is we have uh, uh, a total of about 20 times the daily production of Chia. So, and it doesn't matter how big the Netspace is, 9,200 coins are produced every day, and that is 1.3 million given the current price. And that means we have roughly 25 times the daily production in transactions. So if you think about volume and liquidity, that means the market liquidity for Chia coin has become very, very low. So if you want to spend $10 million on Chia, that would mean you would represent 1/3 of the daily volume alone, which means you have a significant impact on the price. So that means the price for Chia for somebody who wants to buy or sell in large volumes becomes unpredictable. So if you want to sell $10 million in Chia today, then you will you will most likely drive the price of Chia down to unprecedented lows. So that is basically why we are in a downward spiral at the moment. No good news apart from one, which is that we have cats now instead of Chia colored coins. And what does it mean? It means that we have Chia asset tokens, so you can incorporate the Chia blockchain into asset tokens, and there you will be able to do transactions, asset or value transactions, attached to the Chia blockchain, which is of course a good thing if there is a market for it, and at the moment there isn't. At the moment the only remarkable value transaction connected to the Chia tokens is the Chia wallet itself. I have had a look into Chia Lisp. If you are a fossil like me, I'm approaching 65 in the next few weeks, so I am a fossil now. Officially, I am not part of the, or will not be part of the working populations in a few weeks anymore. So I'm basically a useless piece of junk. But This also has some upsides because I know Lisp from when it appeared on the market. We were side hustling with a digital imaging company at that time. My ex-wife used to work with AutoCAD, and AutoCAD uses Lisp as a programming language. And yeah, so I still remember those times in the late 80s when we worked with Lisp, and it obviously is the programming language of choice for Chia, for the Chia token, or now for the cats, for the Chia asset tokens. Where, if and when those become an actual added value to the Chia blockchain is something we are still waiting for. There is no, I mean, where with teenage children, you know that no news is good news, but when it comes to uh, investments in crypto, in the cryptoverse, then this obviously isn't true. So what we need to know is where are we heading, and unfortunately, the communication from the Chia management is not very good. I mean, here uh, is one which is from 9th of August. I don't know what is going on behind the curtains, and I don't know how far any development has come to fruition at the moment. I mean, of course, there are hardcore fans of Chia who say, yeah, in 5 to 10 years it will be the the backbone of DeFi, but from all the discussions I have followed, I can't see that what Chia is offering is so much different from other developments in the market. And uh, if you follow the direction or the discussions on Reddit, then you can see that I'm not the only one who thinks that Chia is similar, when not the same, as other offerings. And all the others are not connected to a coin which has pre-mined a pre-mined heap of $3.2 billion. So yeah, I'm not too sure if whatever the outcome of the Chia project will be, there will be uh, rebounds to the $1,500 per coin we have seen. My bet was $20 a Chia in December. It is a bit ambitious at the moment, given that we are still at 140. But I don't think we will end up too far away from what it what my prediction was. Will there be a comeback for Chia? Yeah, I think nothing is impossible in the cryptoverse. But there are a few huge questions. So one of the questions is the liquidity. Will they manage to sell their pre-mined coins and really make or really create a liquid market for Chia? If we don't see an improvement in numbers, we will not see an improvement in users. And even if they manage to uh, utilize their CATs, their Chia asset tokens, given the niche amount of Chias in circulation at the moment, it is just not, in my opinion, it is just not feasible that this will become a viable currency. So what they would need is to get some major financial institutions. As I said in my previous video, they have to get some major financial institution on board, decrease the value of the coin, and then increase the circulation, and then attach value to it by connecting it to the cats. And that would make it a project which is viable for years and obviously will be profitable at some point. What and that would mean that Chia farming would be not unprofitable for quite a while, but that wouldn't be such a bad thing given that you can reward the farmer or you can reward the people who maintain the Netspace with those tokens you have put into circulation. So basically you would pay the farmers for farming and and make it viable for them. And you can reclaim the costs for maintaining the network by setting up transaction costs. But that, is probably a bit too much for the team to implement. So what are we looking at? We are looking at a decrease in value, in my opinion, below the $100 mark, a decrease in net space to, let's say, around about 20 exabyte, and then we will see, hopefully we will see some improvement in some decisions. Up to then, the Chia project is what it is, a project divided into strong believers who will just uh, carry on regardless of what is going on, and others who have spent thousands of pounds or dollars and uh, are now at the point where even the upkeep of the, their investment becomes unviable. So the cost of running the project uh, are higher than the rewards you can rake in. That means on top of your original investment, you have to put cash into your Chia farming because of the rising electricity costs. Yeah, that is basically what it is at the moment. I don't see it going any other way, and I would be happy to be surprised, as we have spent a lot of time, energy, and effort into the Chia project since May, but it is what it is, and we will see how it turns out. At the moment, the outlook is bleak. So that is it for today. I hope this was informative. And if you feel the need to like and subscribe, I ask you to do so. And let's hope the weather improves. Let's hope the environment for Chia improves. And let's hope that there is at some point, some development which makes it viable for us to follow the Chia project and to devote our time and resources to it. Thank you very much for listening and have a very good day.